My husband's relatives demanded I host Christmas just days after surgery. "Stop pretending and get in the kitchen," his mother snapped. I gave a sweet smile and agreed, but their jaws dropped the moment they arrived and witnessed. A sharp agony seized me as I stretched out a hand toward the device controlling the viewing screen. It had been a fortnight since my significant abdominal procedure, and the most elementary movements still felt like I was being pierced from the inside. I pressed my palm against the bandaging hidden beneath my knitted top, steadying my breathing, through clenched teeth until the muscle spasm receded. It was just then that Raymond came in, engrossed in scrolling on his mobile device, seemingly unaware of my discomfort. "Mother just rang. They're all descending on us for the Christmas meal." My name is Victoria, and in that instant, something within me utterly shattered. Not aloud, not visibly, but something deep inside simply broke apart. "What do you mean? They're all descending here?" My voice was level, yet my hands trembled. "Ray, I can barely stay upright for more than 10 minutes at a time." He glanced up briefly. "Mother said she'll handle the decorative elements. You just need to manage the cooking and the hosting duties. You know how particular she is about the classic Christmas dinner protocol." "I've just undergone surgery," I repeated, my voice rising this time. "The medical professional specifically warned against lifting and prolonged periods of standing." "Oh, honestly, Vic, don't be so dramatic. It's just kitchen work." He waved a hand dismissively. "Mother does it routinely, and she suffers from rheumatoid arthritis." The telephone chimed before I could formulate a retort. "Speaking of whom..." Ava's name appeared on the screen. Raymond tossed the device toward me and left the room. "Victoria, excellent. You're reachable." Ava's tone was coated in artificial sweetness. "I'm considering pork this year, rather than poultry. And make certain you prepare those small pastry delights everyone adored last time. Summer specifically requested them. And formal table settings, my dear. Not resembling last year's Easter gathering when you used disposable napkins." "What was the justification for that?" "I was suffering from a severe flu last Easter," I stated softly. "Don't you recall? I was hardly able to..." "Oh, cease the theatrics and begin culinary preparations. It is Christmas." She emitted that dreadful, metallic cackle that always made my skin crawl. "I will bring the fine dinnerware. You are to focus solely on the food. There will be 7 individuals, plus Kylie. She is extremely selective about her food now, you understand? No botanical matter near the protein." The conversation terminated before I could voice further objection. I remained seated there, contemplating my device, recalling all the prior festive seasons, every occasion I had prepared meals while battling throbbing headaches, viral symptoms, or professional deadlines. That time I was afflicted with food poisoning but still compelled to preside over Raymond's birthday dinner, because, naturally, it was a long-standing custom. My device indicated an incoming text message from Summer. "Mother says you're managing Christmas. Don't ruin the event this year." I rose slowly, gingerly, and made my way toward the reflective surface in the washing area. The face staring back appeared weary, pallid, with deep circles beneath the eye sockets. But for the first time in years, I discerned something else present, as well. Something that brought a faint smile to my lips. "Very well," I murmured to my reflection. "Let us embark on a culinary undertaking that will be truly unforgettable." I reached for my device again, this time initiating a connection to a different number. It's me. Do you recall when you advised me I should stop allowing them to dominate me? I believe I am finally ready to heed your counsel. About time." Ree's voice was warm with concern. "What transgressions have they committed now?" "They desire Christmas dinner, 2 weeks following my surgical procedure." "The complete production?" "Are you serious?" Ree's outrage resonated perfectly with my emotional state. "Oh, absolutely not. Tell them to shove their pork where the..." "Actually," I interrupted, my smile widening, "I believe I shall furnish them with precisely what they are entitled to, but I require your aid." "I'm there." "Firstly, I need you to locate every establishment offering delivery services on Christmas Day. And then," I paused, gently touching my surgical mark through my sweater, "I need your help in orchestrating the most memorable retaliatory Christmas dinner ever presented." Ree's laughter was delightful. "Oh, my dear, this is going to be spectacular." From the lower floor, I could distinguish Raymond engaged in conversation with his mother via telephone, likely already plotting the repositioning of my furnishings. For optimal dining arrangement facilitation, let them plot, let them issue demands, let them assume. I activated my portable computer and commenced compiling inventories, not of culinary formulations or grocery items, but of everything else. Everything I had been preserving, screenshots, maintaining records, documenting discreetly for a duration of years, every dismissive comment, every unaddressed medical concern, every celebratory period I had hosted while ailing or exhausted. This Christmas dinner would represent my masterpiece, my emancipation, my valediction, and they would remain oblivious until it was too late. "All right, we have Chinese, Thai, Indian, and that new Mediterranean restaurant," restated, distributing a selection of takeaway menus across the surface of my coffee table. "All have affirmed they will provide delivery services on Christmas Day. I was compelled to pledge the Indian place a $100 gratuity, but given the..." I carefully shifted my position on the seating arrangement, adjusting to alleviate the persistent ache. "Excellent. Secure supplementary menus from each. I intend to cover the dining chamber with them. You are diabolical. I find it marvelous. Ree paused, observing my countenance. How is the discomfort today? Worth every moment of the impending outcome. I extended my reach for my device as it emitted a signal indicating another incoming text message from Eva. Do not neglect the preparation of the cranberry relish. It must be homemade. None of that preserved absurdity. And Raymond mentioned you have been frequently ordering takeaway recently. That will not suffice for Christmas. I displayed the text message to Ree, who dramatically rolled her eyes. Has she forgotten you literally underwent having your internal organs rearranged 2 weeks prior? It is bold to assume she ever possessed such awareness in the first instance. I extracted a folder labeled medical and inserted my most recent hospital invoice into it. Raymond conveyed to her it was merely a minor intervention. Speaking of financial obligations, Ree presented me with a glossy brochure. I located that recovery retreat you inquired about. It is ideal. A private cabin, medical personnel readily available, a tranquil lakeside view, possessing a very conducive to healing from trauma ambiance. Book it for the period encompassing December 25th through the commencement of the new year. I smiled, picturing the silence, the serenity, the absolute fury that would ensue when they realized I would not be returning to rectify the disorder they would create. My device emitted its signal. Summer this time. Victoria, Mother says you are being difficult regarding the menu. Summer's voice possessed that familiar condescending tone. Look, just comply with her desires. You are aware of her temperament. You are accurate, Summer. I am indeed aware of her temperament. I maintained a voice dripping with sugary sweetness. Do not fret. Everything will align precisely with what everyone deserves this year. Following the termination of the call, I carefully rose and proceeded to the kitchen area where Raymond was preparing a hot beverage. He offered me none. The credit card statement arrived, I stated casually, placing the hospital invoice upon the counter where he could not overlook it. Could you verify if your card is functional? Mine continues to be declined. Likely attributable to your continuous ordering of takeaway, he mumbled, but he retrieved the invoice. His eyes slightly widened at the total amount. Good grief, Vic. Did you truly require all these interventions? No, Ray. I underwent them purely for enjoyment. I turned away, concealing my smile. First initial step completed. That afternoon, Ree assisted me in packing a small travel bag while I recounted the details of the preceding Thanksgiving. I had been afflicted with a temperature of 102 degrees Fahrenheit, yet Eva had insisted we could not cancel. She asserted she had already purchased the turkey. I prepared culinary items for 6 consecutive hours, then endured the night experiencing nausea while they engaged in watching televised sporting competition. And Raymond had instructed me to minimize the sound. The match is in progress. Ree zipped the travel bag with unnecessary force. I sincerely hope they choke on their takeaway. They will not, I stated, accessing the electronic mail confirmation for the retreat. They will be excessively preoccupied choking on their own entitled anticipations. The entrance signaling device sounded. Another delivery. Raymond called from downstairs. Vic, food again? Seriously? Still in recovery, my dearest, I called. Back sweetly. You managed the morning meal perfectly adequately, he grumbled. I exchanged a look with Ree. He had not detected that the morning meal had originated from the establishment situated down the street, merely arranged on our own serving dishes. He had detected nothing for 2 weeks, save that I was exhibiting less emotional reactivity concerning everything. The retreat is confirmed, Ree whispered, displaying her device. Fully compensated from your undisclosed financial account. They have a Christmas dinner scheduled incidentally, featuring actual culinary professionals who are not recuperating from major surgical procedures. I gently touched my scar. 2 more weeks of this, then freedom. Are you certain you do not wish to simply inform them all to? No, I interrupted, smiling. That is not the modus operandi of cosmic justice. They must genuinely experience it. Truly experience it. In the identical manner I experienced it every time they treated me as their personal domestic staff. My device emitted a signal again. Eva had dispatched a collective text message to the entire family unit. Victoria has graciously consented to preside over Christmas. Summer is conveying the fine dinnerware. I shall oversee the decorative elements. Victoria will assume responsibility for the remainder as tradition dictates. Punctual arrival is required. Dinner at 2 p.m. sharp. I displayed the text message to Ree. She commenced laughing with such intensity she was compelled to seat herself. Oh, my benevolent deity, she wheezed. They genuinely have no comprehension. Nope. I saved the text message as additional corroborative evidence. But they will, one perfectly arranged takeaway meal at a time. From downstairs, I could distinguish Raymond conversing with his mother via telephone, likely planning the placement of the Christmas tree that I would not be decorating. Let them plan, let them assume. I possessed my own arrangements, and they were already in motion. Ava burst through my front portal without knocking, her arms burdened with decorative greenery. Victoria, why has the arboreal decoration not been erected yet? Christmas is in 3 days. I remained stationary on the seating arrangement, meticulously documenting every text message and electronic mail on my portable computer. Greetings, Eva. I have positioned a festive wreath and some luminous elements. That is all I can presently manage. She dropped the decorative items onto my coffee table with an audible exhalation of frustration. Earnestly, dearest, this demeanor of yours is becoming tiresome. One minor surgical procedure, and you are conducting yourself as though composed of fragile material. I extracted my device and activated the recording function. Let us append this to the accumulating collection. Would you be inclined to view the surgical site, Eva? I inquired sweetly. The medical practitioner states it is progressing favorably, in terms of recovery, despite being quite extensive. Do not be vulgar. She commenced draping garlands over my book collection. Now, concerning the preliminary edible items, Summer specifically requested those diminutive crab puffs you prepared last year. My device indicated an incoming text message from Summer herself. Mother says you are again being difficult. Do not cause us embarrassment this year. I captured a visual representation, appended it to my expanding digital repository labeled Christmas Karma, and smiled. I shall ensure everyone receives precisely what they are desiring. Eva turned, hands positioned upon her hips. And the dwelling, it is virtually devoid of festive ambiance. Where is your holiday spirit? Right here, I stated, patting my surgical site. The movement sent a sharp sensation of pain through my abdominal region. I winced, but Eva was too engrossed in rearranging my furnishings to take notice. The front entrance reopened. Raymond entered with Kylie, my adolescent niece. Oh, Aunt Victoria, Kylie wrinkled her nose. Your dwelling appears so uninteresting. Mother states you are being indolent concerning Christmas this year. Greetings. To you as well, Kylie. I captured another visual representation of the proliferating evidence of familial dysfunction. How is your scholastic progress? Whatever. She collapsed onto my carefully positioned recovery chair. Mother states we had better not end up consuming takeaway, as when you were afflicted with the flu. Raymond directed a cautionary glance toward me. Victoria has been frequently ordering takeaway recently, but she will prepare culinary items for Christmas, correct, my dearest? Everything will be impeccably arranged, I assured them, observing Eva disrupt my carefully organized book collection. Everyone will receive precisely what they are entitled to. After they departed, Eva to procure additional decorative items, Kylie complaining of boredom, Raymond to work late, I telephoned Ree. They have just departed. Eva redecorated my entire living chamber in 45 minutes. Please tell me you captured it all on video, Ree stated. Entrance monitoring device, telephonic recordings, and visual captures, I stated. I slowly stood, contending with another wave of discomfort. But I need your assistance with the secondary phase. An hour later, Ree and I were applying the final touches to my magnum opus. She held aloft the printed annotation I had meticulously composed over the preceding week. To my cherished relatives by marriage, she read, grinning. Enjoy the selection of your meal. All selections have been prepaid. I am presently in a state of recuperation per surgical necessity. You may direct grievances to the medical practitioner's office if dissatisfaction is experienced. Festive salutations. It is exquisite, malevolent, but exquisite. The takeaway. Menus are all prepared? I inquired, reviewing my retreat confirmation once more. Supplementary copies printed of each one. We will affix them to the surfaces on Christmas morning prior to their arrival. Ree assisted me in packing the final few items into my departure satchel. Your cabin is supplied with actual Christmas dinner, incidentally. The retreat's culinary professional is preparing the avian dish and everything. My device emitted a signal again. Corbin this time. Hey, sister-in-law. Heard you are undertaking Christmas again. Hope it is less disastrous than last year's catastrophe. I displayed the text message to Ree. She made a retching sound. Do you recall last year? I inquired. When he lamented that the turkey was excessively dry whilst I was literally enduring a fever from working 60-hour weeks, and Raymond offered no comment? Ree's voice was rigid as usual. Not on this occasion. I touched the neat stack of marital dissolution documents concealed within my desk drawer. This time, everyone is receiving their just desserts via delivery. The front entrance opened again. Raymond had returned prematurely. I swiftly concealed the departure satchel in the guest chamber storage area while Ree diverted his attention. Greetings, Ray, she called out, simply assisting Victoria with some Christmas preparatory tasks. Splendid, he muttered, barely looking up from his device. Mother is concerned you are not approaching this with sufficient gravity, Vic. She states the dwelling appears unoccupied. I shared a knowing glance with Ree. Do not fret, my dearest. Everything has been meticulously planned. It is poised to be a Christmas no individual will forget. After Raymond ascended the staircase, Ree embraced me gently, mindful of my surgical site. 3 more days, she whispered. Then you are free. I touched the solitary Christmas wreath upon my wall, the only decorative element I had permitted myself to install. It was flawless in its simplicity, precisely like my scheme. 3 days, I concurred. Then they will learn what transpires when one is pushed too far. My device illuminated with another demanding text message from Eva, but I did not bother, perusing its contents. Shortly, very shortly, they would all ascertain that cosmic reciprocity does not merely materialize. Occasionally, it is physically delivered. Christmas Eve dawned bright and cold. The dwelling was tranquil, save for the functioning of the climate control system, and Raymond's deep respiratory sounds from the floor above. I was seated in the kitchen area, consuming a bowl of warm liquid nourishment and observing a televised, cinematic production entitled Home Alone on my portable computing device. Curiously fitting, given tomorrow's intended actions. The kitchen area gleamed spotlessly and unused. No preparatory activities, no pre-assembled culinary items, no thawing poultry, merely empty counter surfaces and the stack of takeaway menus. Concealed within my bag, my device illuminated with Ava's 10th text message of the day. Do not neglect to position the turkey for thawing, and ensure you are awake early. The preparation of the potatoes is time-consuming. I captured another visual representation for my collection and sipped my liquid nourishment. The entrance signaling device sounded softly. Precisely according to the scheduled timing. Prepared for the ultimate preparatory phase, she whispered, as I admitted her. She carried a roll of adhesive material and a dossier replete with freshly printed menus. Almost. I lifted my sweater slightly, displaying the surgical site to her. Do you believe I should leave this exposed tomorrow? Truly emphasize the point? Absolutely. Recommenced arranging menus upon the dining chamber table. Let them perceive precisely what they have been disregarding. My device emitted a signal. Again, summer this time. Mother is in a state of distress because you have not responded to her text messages. You had better not be sleeping. There is an abundance of activities to be undertaken. They are going to lose their composure tomorrow, restated, meticulously affixing the initial menu. Are you certain you do not wish me to capture it on video? The entrance monitoring device will record everything. I touched my scar abstractedly. Furthermore, I will be absent long before then. We worked quietly, methodically, covering the dining chamber walls with takeaway menus. Chinese cuisine adjacent to Thai cuisine, next to Indian cuisine. A wealth of options, all prepaid utilizing Raymond's credit card. My final offering to the familial unit. Do you recall Thanksgiving 3 years prior? I inquired, observing arrange the menus perfectly straight. When Eva insisted I prepare 3 distinct varieties of pie because Kylie was unable to reach a decision concerning her preference? And then Kylie consumed none of them because she was monitoring her carbohydrate intake? Shook her head. How much did you expend on ingredients that year? $400, I smiled. Tomorrow's takeaway expenditure, $500 plus supplementary remuneration. From upstairs, Raymond's deep respiratory pattern stuttered. We froze, but the rhythm resumed. He had not stirred throughout the evening. Had not detected my packing activities. Had not even inquired about the culinary preparations for the evening meal. Your departure satchel is in my automobile, whispered. Retreat address programmed into the navigation system. You are genuinely proceeding with this. Observe my actions. I extracted my device and reviewed my messages one final time. Eva. Do not disappoint us tomorrow. Summer. Kylie desires the pork cut into perfect squares this year. Corbin. Better not compromise the pork like last Christmas. Raymond. Nothing, as usual. Assist me with the concluding touch, I requested of extracting the meticulously composed annotation I had printed earlier. We positioned it in the central area of the dining chamber table, anchored down with a solitary Christmas adornment, the one Raymond's mother had presented to me during our inaugural Christmas spent together. For the family's newest domestic staff member, she had jested. I had not found it amusing then. I found it hilarious now. What time are they scheduled to arrive tomorrow? Inquired, adjusting the annotation one final time. 11 o'clock, sharp. Ava insists upon punctuality when it pertains to the temporal resources of others she is managing. I checked my timepiece. I will have departed by 10:30. My device emitted a signal again, a final text message from Eva. Everything had better be flawless tomorrow. Do not be late with the pork. Reread the text message over my shoulder and snorted. Should we inform them the pork will be perfectly square, within diminutive takeaway containers? Allow it to serve as a surprise. I cast one final glance around the dining chamber, at the menus covering every surface like wallpaper. They desired dinner. They are receiving dinner. They desired tradition, corrected, embracing me carefully. They are receiving cosmic reciprocity. After her departure, I remained in the silent kitchen area for a protracted moment. Tomorrow, this chamber would be filled with voices expressing astonishment, expressions of indignation, demands rooted in entitlement. But I would not be physically present to hear them. I touched my surgical scar one final time, recalling every festive period I had prepared culinary items whilst enduring discomfort, every celebratory event I had presided over whilst unwell, every demand I had met whilst being treated akin to inanimate furniture. Upstairs, Raymond's deep respiratory pattern continued, oblivious to the impending events. Let him slumber. Let them all find restful repose tonight. Tomorrow they would ascertain what transpires when one is pushed to the ultimate limit, when kindness is misinterpreted as vulnerability, when family is treated as mere personnel. I commenced ascending toward my sleeping chamber, pausing at the dining chamber entry for a final observation of our masterpiece. The menus gleamed in the dim illumination, a paper testament to years of being taken for granted. "Merry Christmas to all," I whispered, smiling at the impending chaos. "And to all, a tranquil, nocturnal period." Christmas morning dawned bright and cold. I attired myself with care, a loose knitted garment that would not exacerbate my surgical site, comfortable trousers, and my most presentable footwear. After all, appropriate attire should be donned when serving justice. Raymond had already departed to retrieve his parents. He had not even inquired about the morning meal. At 10:15, Ree's automobile entered the driveway. "Precisely according to schedule. You appear magnificent," she stated, as I eased myself into the passenger seat, my departure satchel already in the rear section. "Like a woman on the verge of incinerating her existence in the most refined manner imaginable." That is precisely what I am. I reviewed my device. Multiple text messages had already arrived. Eva. In transit. Kitchen had better be warm and fragrant with delectable aromas. Summer. Just departed domicile. Kylie is famished, so provisions had better be prepared. Corbin. Hope you did not overcook the pork this year. I set my device to silent mode and placed it aside. Let them transmit messages into the void. At 10:45, we parked around the corner from my dwelling. Through the surveillance camera application, I observed Eva's automobile arrive, followed swiftly by Summer's sport utility vehicle. "Precisely on time," I murmured. Eva does indeed value punctuality. We watched as they congregated on the porch, arms laden with offerings and decorative items. Eva attempted the entrance. It remained secured. "Where is Victoria?" Summer's voice was distinctly audible through the camera's audio output. "Mother, I believed you stated she would be prepared." Raymond unlocked the entrance. They streamed in, voices echoing through the uninhabited dwelling. "Victoria!" Eva called out. "Where is the food? Why is nothing being prepared?" "Something is amiss," Raymond stated. "The kitchen is cold." "The dining chamber?" Kylie's voice. "Perhaps she arranged it in the... Oh, my celestial being." The camera captured their countenances as they entered the dining chamber. Eva's mouth fell open. Summer actually stumbled backward. Raymond paled. What is this?" Eva sputtered, staring at the walls covered with takeaway menus. Corbin retrieved the annotation from the surface of the table. "To my cherished relatives by marriage," he read aloud. "Enjoy the selection of your meal. All selections have been prepaid. I am presently in a state of recuperation per surgical necessity. You may direct grievances to the medical practitioner's office if dissatisfaction is experienced. Festive salutations." "Is this some form of jest?" Summer shrieked. Where is she?" Raymond extracted his device, likely encountering my text message for the first time today. "I am departing to reclaim my tranquility. Forward any residual egg rolls to the clinic." "She cannot execute this." Eva was turning a deep shade of crimson. "It is Christmas. We are family." "Family?" I whispered to Ree. Time to demonstrate to them what family truly signifies. I extracted my device and dispatched the mass text communication I had prepared. "Since you are all inquiring as to my whereabouts, I am prioritizing my own well-being for the first time. Review your electronic mail correspondence. You will find visual representations of my surgical site, medical invoices, and audio recordings of every demanding telephonic exchange and text message you have transmitted whilst I was recuperating. Furthermore, a selection of notable instances from previous celebratory periods. On Raymond's credit card. Enjoy." Through the camera, we observed them retrieve their devices as the notifications commenced. Eva's countenance shifted from crimson to pallid. Summer seated herself abruptly, in a dining chamber chair. Raymond appeared as though he might experience nausea. "She recorded us?" Summer's voice trembled. "All of us? The surgical procedure?" Eva was staring at her device. "It was not a minor intervention at all." "Raymond, you stated..." "I was unaware," Raymond stammered. "She never articulated it." "I articulated it every day," I responded via text. "None of you listened, but now you are left with no alternative." Reinitiated the vehicle. "Prepared for departure?" "One final item." I dispatched the concluding text message. "Oh, and... Eva, do not concern yourself with tradition. I am establishing a new one. Its designation is respecting myself. Merry Christmas." As we pulled away, I could perceive them through the dining chamber window, still standing amidst the takeaway. Menus, devices in hand, countenances etched with astonishment. 7 entitled individuals who had finally been served precisely what they were entitled to. "To the retreat?" Ree inquired, navigating onto the main thoroughfare. "To freedom," I corrected, feeling lighter than I had in years. "And genuine Christmas. Dinner with individuals who genuinely care whether I am experiencing discomfort." My device was inundated with notifications, but I did not consult them. Let them rage. Let them issue threats. Let them finally experience the sensation of being helpless and disregarded during a celebratory period. I touched my surgical scar gently, recalling all the instances I had persevered through discomfort to fulfill their demands. Every celebration I had hosted whilst unwell. Every demand I had satisfied whilst being treated akin to inanimate furniture. No longer. "Do you know what the most advantageous aspect is?" I stated to Ree as we departed from my previous existence. "They will be compelled to clean up after themselves for once." Ree laughed. Now, that is what I term a Christmas miracle. I leaned back in my seat, observing my dwelling diminish in the rearview mirror. Somewhere behind us, my relatives by marriage were discovering that cosmic reciprocity, like retaliation, is a dish best presented with a side of takeaway, and I was finally liberated. The principal building of the retreat resembled something extracted from a Christmas greeting card, all warm illumination, and wooden structural elements dusted with crystalline precipitation. Inside, the receptionist smiled warmly as she processed my check-in. Welcome, Victoria. We have you accommodated in Lakeside Cabin number 3, ideal for recuperation and, introspection. My device emitted a signal for the 100th time. I glanced at it briefly. Eva, how dare you cause us such embarrassment? Summer, Mother is weeping. I hope you are content. Raymond, please return home. We can resolve this. Corbin, truly mature, absconding on Christmas. Would you prefer we retain your device during your sojourn? The receptionist offered. Many guests find it conducive to the healing process. No, thank you, I smiled. I am actually deriving enjoyment from the messages presently. Within my cabin, Ree assisted me in unpacking while I perused my electronic mail correspondence. Summer had already posted a vague lamentation on a social networking platform regarding ungrateful familial members ruining Christmas. Observe this, Ree stated, displaying her device. She had been monitoring the neighborhood online forum. Eva is attempting to mobilize support, but it is backfiring. Someone inquired as to why they compelled a woman to undertake culinary duties. 2 weeks subsequent to surgical intervention. My device emitted a signal. Raymond again. This time I responded. Where are you located? He demanded. Somewhere tranquil, I replied calmly. How is the takeaway? This is not humorous, Victoria. Mother is devastated. Summer's offspring are weeping. You have ruined Christmas. No, Ray, you ruined it years ago. Every instance you observed me preparing meals whilst unwell. Every instance you disregarded my discomfort. Every instance you elected their comfort over my well-being. That is not... Review your electronic mail correspondence again, I interrupted. I have just dispatched the visual recording from last Thanksgiving, the one where I am visibly feverish whilst your mother demands additional gravy. Silence. I must conclude. This call, I stated. My actual Christmas dinner is prepared, one I did not have to undertake the preparation for. I terminated the call as Ree returned from the principal building. You will not believe this. Summer is attempting to instigate a boycott of all the establishments that provided delivery services today. Naturally she is, I stated. I consulted my messages again. Ava had progressed to a lengthy textual treatise concerning tradition and familial values. Oh, and your medical practitioner initiated contact, Ree added. Ava attempted to file a grievance regarding your purportedly unnecessary medical restrictions. Dr. Brooks swiftly terminated that effort. My device emitted a signal with a new message from Kylie this time. Mother states you are experiencing a mental collapse. Are you? I displayed the text message to Ree. Should I inform her I'm experiencing a breakthrough instead? Inform her you are having supper, Ree grinned. Speaking of which, we proceeded to the principal building's dining facility. The table was exquisitely arranged. Other guests were already congregating. No one issued demands. No one voiced complaints. Merely quiet discourse and delectable sustenance I had not been required to prepare. My device illuminated with another incoming call from Raymond. Still not answering? Ree inquired. No necessity, I stated, turning the device face downward. I have articulated everything I needed to convey with menus. Subsequent to the evening repast back in my cabin, I finally perused the entirety of the messages. Ava had advanced from anger to attempts at negotiation. If you return now, we can allow this to be forgotten. Summer had transitioned to threats. Mother is discussing legal representation. You had better be prepared for that. Raymond simply persisted in transmitting variations of, please return home and we can work through this. I activated my portable computer and composed a singular response, dispatching it to all of them. I am not returning, not to the dwelling, not to the culinary duties, not to the demands. I am recuperating from surgical intervention and from years of being taken for granted. Do not initiate further contact with my medical practitioner. Do not issue legal threats you are incapable of executing, and do not anticipate my ever again preparing culinary items for you. The menus are yours to retain. Do you believe they will comprehend? Ree inquired, perusing over my shoulder. They will be compelled to, I stated, closing the portable computer. I have an appointment scheduled with a legal representative specializing in marital dissolution matters next week. My device emitted a signal one final time. Eva. Ingrate, after everything we have accomplished for you. I laughed, genuinely laughed, and displayed the message to Ree. Everything they have accomplished for me, I stated. They have accomplished precisely one thing, demonstrated exactly who they are. And now, I am demonstrating to them precisely who I am. And who is that? Ree inquired. I surveyed my tranquil cabin, the view of the lake through the window, the evening meal I had relished without preparing a single dish. Someone who finally apprehended the necessity of prioritizing herself. Outside, crystalline precipitation began to descend softly. Somewhere across the township, my relatives by marriage were likely still seated amidst takeaway menus, attempting to comprehend how they had lost control of their holiday domestic staff. But here, in my quiet cabin, I was precisely where I needed to be, healing, resting, emancipated. My device emitted a signal again, but I did not consult it. Whatever they were articulating no longer possessed significance. I had presented my final holiday dinner, and my initial taste of liberation was absolutely delectable. 1 week subsequent to Christmas, I entered my dwelling at 7 o'clock in the morning with my legal representative, Andy, by my side. Raymond was still at home, likely due to his suspension following his colleagues' circulation of my Christmas dinner narrative. Throughout the office, he sprang up from the seating arrangement upon our entrance. "Victoria, finally, we must discuss—" "No," Andy interrupted smoothly. "You must be seated and listen, that is all." I placed my bag upon the counter surface and extracted a folder. "These are documents pertaining to marital dissolution, Ray. I have already affixed my signature." "Divorce?" His countenance turned pale. "You cannot be serious. Over one dinner." "One dinner?" I extracted my device and played one of Eva's audio messages from Christmas Day. "How dare you humiliate us in this manner? After everything we have accomplished for you, you ungrateful little—" "That is merely mother being mother," Raymond protested weakly. "Precisely," I stated. I arranged further documents, medical, invoices, visual captures, audio recordings. That is the core issue. Here is every holiday I have hosted whilst unwell, every demand they issued whilst I was recuperating, every instance you elected their comfort over my well-being. I never— December 12th, I read from my device. Cease the melodramatic conduct concerning the surgical procedure. Mother necessitates assistance with Christmas shopping. December 15th. Can you not simply prepare supper? You are already at home throughout the day anyway. December 24th? All right. Raymond slumped back onto the seating arrangement. But divorce, truly? Andy stepped forward. My client is requesting an equitable division of assets, including the dwelling. The dwelling? Raymond abruptly rose once more. You cannot take the dwelling. Actually, I smiled. I can. Review. Your electronic mail correspondence. He seized his device, his countenance darkening as he perused its contents. You recorded everything? Entrance monitoring devices are remarkable, I stated. They captured every instance your family members entered uninvited. Demanding dialogue. Every instance you observed my struggle subsequent to surgical intervention without offering assistance. That is not equitable. Neither was compelling me to host 2 weeks following major surgical intervention, I stated, placing another document on the surface of the coffee table. Here is a sworn statement from my medical practitioner regarding the risks to which you subjected me. Raymond's device emitted a signal. Ava's name illuminated the screen. Do not answer that, Andy advised. Not unless you desire your mother's reaction to be recorded as well. She has already inflicted sufficient damage, I added. Were you aware she attempted to file a formal complaint against my medical practitioner, alleging I was exaggerating the severity of my surgical procedure? Raymond stared at the marital dissolution documents. Where are you presently residing? Somewhere secure, I replied. Somewhere devoid of demanding relatives by marriage and takeaway menus on the surfaces. His device emitted a signal again. Summer this time. I could distinguish her text message. Mother is in distress. Is Victoria present? Compel her to apologize. You should be aware, Andy stated professionally, that any attempts at harassment or retaliation will be documented. The ring cameras will remain operational until the finalization of the marital dissolution proceedings. And, subsequent to that? Raymond inquired. Subsequent to that, I never wish to encounter any of you again. I touched my surgical scar, now nearly completely healed. No more festive periods, no more demands, no more feigning familial connection. When I was, in actuality, merely your personal culinary technician. The front entrance abruptly opened. Ava stormed in, her countenance crimson with fury. Perfect timing, Andy stated, extracting his device to record. Mrs. Weber, would you be inclined to elucidate upon your unauthorized entry into my client's domicile? Ava froze. Client? What is transpiring? Marital dissolution proceedings, I stated calmly. Do not fret. I am certain Summer can undertake the preparation of all your holiday meals from this point forward. Ingrate, Eva commenced, but Andy interrupted her. Every utterance you make is being recorded, madam. Choose your words with circumspection. Eva's mouth snapped shut. Raymond merely remained seated, staring at the documents. I shall afford you 3 days to review everything with your legal representative, I stated, gathering my belongings. Following that period, we shall proceed, irrespective of your readiness. As you proceeded with Christmas, Eva snapped. Precisely like that, I smiled, expeditious, methodical, and with an abundance of options for delivery. As we departed, I distinguished Ava commencing to weep, Raymond attempting to console her. Let them console one another. I now possessed my own tranquility to safeguard. Well, Andy stated as we drove away, that transpired more favorably than anticipated. No one engaged in projectile activities. They are likely reserving that for the next celebratory period, I stated. I glanced back at the dwelling one final time, but I would not be present to attend to the subsequent disorder. My device emitted a signal, a text message from Re. How did it progress? Do you require assistance with posting bail? No bail required, I replied. Merely documents pertaining to freedom, currently in progress. Do you wish to aid me in the search for a new residence? I have already located 3 potential properties, she responded, all possessing culinary facilities. You will never be compelled to prepare holiday dinners within them. I smiled, feeling lighter with every mile that separated me from that dwelling. They desired tradition. I was establishing a new one, prioritizing myself. And this tradition did not include a side of familial discord. The cafe was tranquil for a Sunday morning. I sipped my coffee, observing Eva and Raymond fidget across the table. They had entreated for this meeting through my legal representative, pledging to rectify matters. Well, I stated, placing my cup down. You desired to converse. Speak. We miss you, Eva stated, her voice lacking its customary authoritative tone. The familial unit is not the same without your presence. You imply the dinner assembly is not the same without my presence. I extracted my device, accessed a specific online forum. Have you observed this? It has become widely disseminated. Their countenances paled as I directed the screen toward them. The title of the post read, Am I the jerk for abandoning my family with takeaway on Christmas? You disseminated information about us? Raymond stammered, anonymously. I scrolled through the comments. Individuals are captivated, particularly the section concerning compelling someone to prepare meals 2 weeks subsequent to major surgical intervention. Ava's hands trembled around her untouched coffee. That is private familial matters. Was it private when you attempted to compromise my medical practitioner's standing? When Summer disseminated information about me on a social networking platform? When Corbin shared those derisive text messages with his companions from leisurely activities? The entrance signaling device chimed. Re-entered, precisely according to schedule, carrying a dossier. Perfect timing, I stated. Did you convey the documents? All located within this repository, restated, seating herself beside me, distributing documents, medical invoices, visual captures, transcripts from the entrance monitoring device, everything that was not included in the widely disseminated online post. What is your desire? Raymond inquired quietly. Nothing. I leaned back, feeling the strength in my fully healed abdominal region. The marital dissolution is nearing its conclusion. The dwelling was sold above the asking price. I am not present, for any purpose other than to bid farewell, in a proper manner. Farewell? Eva's voice fractured. But what concerning holiday periods? I am certain Summer can manage those, I smiled, although I had received information that her Christmas dinner had been a catastrophe. Something concerning incinerated pork and prepackaged accompaniments. Raymond shifted uncomfortably. Mother was compelled to order pizza. Cosmic reciprocity possesses intriguing characteristics in that regard. I extracted one final document, a financial instrument. Here is your portion of the dwelling sale, Ray. Andy suggested convening in a public location to facilitate the exchange. You are genuinely executing this? Eva whispered. Discarding familial connection over one dinner? No. I met her gaze steadily. I am valuing myself over years of being treated as domestic staff. There is a distinction. The online post currently has 10,000 endorsements, Ree commented, reviewing her device. Individuals are truly captivated, particularly the portion concerning the takeaway menu wallpaper. Ava stood abruptly. This is preposterous. Raymond, inform her this is preposterous. But Raymond merely stared at the financial instrument, then at me. I am regretful, he stated finally. I should have offered greater assistance, provided greater protection for you. Yes, I concurred. You should have. It is not excessively late, Eva insisted. We can rectify this. Summer has already issued an apology. Summer transmitted a text message stating, Sorry so sensitive LOL, I corrected. That does not constitute an apology. That does not even adhere to proper orthography. My device emitted a signal. Another notification from the online forum. Further accolades, additional comments, more individuals sharing their own accounts of familial exploitation. You have inspired quite a societal movement, Ree stated proudly. Individuals are terming it the Christmas takeout revolution. Ava sank back into her seat, defeated. What will individuals conceive? They will conceive precisely what occurred, I stated. That you exerted excessive pressure, demanded too much, and finally confronted the repercussions. I stood, gathering my belongings. The marital dissolution will be finalized next week. Do not initiate contact with me subsequent to that. But, Eva commenced. No, I interrupted her firmly. No more buts, no more demands, no more instilling guilt. I am finished catering to the necessities of everyone else. Raymond finally articulated speech once more. What concerning my necessities? Order takeaway, Ree and I stated simultaneously. We departed from them, surrounded by the evidence of their own conduct, holding a financial instrument instead of a daughter-in-law. Outside, the vernal atmosphere was refreshing and pure. My device emitted a signal again. Another comment notification. Do you wish to ascertain what they are articulating? Ree inquired. I wished. I have no need to, I smiled, feeling the solar warmth upon my countenance. I am precisely aware of what transpired. I was physically present. I served the cosmic reciprocity. I lived the revolution. Speaking of serving, Ree grinned. Guess what I ascertained? Summer is undertaking the hosting duties for Easter this year. Ava is already expressing dissatisfaction concerning her culinary capabilities. I laughed, genuinely laughed, experiencing nothing but liberation. They desired tradition. They received cosmic reciprocity. And now you obtain peace, Ree concluded. My device emitted a signal one final time, a text message from Eva. Please reconsider. Familial connection is perpetual. I transmitted the response. You are correct. That is why I elected myself as my primary familial connection. Then, I blocked her telephonic identifier, linked arms with Ree, and walked away from the cafe without glancing backward. Behind us, Raymond and Ava were seated with their cold coffee and hot consequences. And as for me, I possessed an existence to live, one deliciously free from the obligations of celebratory periods and family-sized portions of culpability. After all, the most effective form of retaliation is not solely presented cold. Occasionally, it is not presented at all.